So this is so far what we have. The construction financing that you got for us, that was awesome. So we might have to extend it a little bit though.
Why?
Well, it's kind of delayed, as you can see.
Okay, how long are you guys delayed by?
About 3 months.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, with the construction financing, it is renewable.
Okay.
There is obviously going to be a renewal fee, but we're going to negotiate that down. But I wouldn't go for 3 months. I would suggest that we extend for 6 months just to be on the safe side, knowing that things are taking longer and material is a little bit more expensive. So that's what I'll do.
So 6 months?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go for 6 months, although you think you're going to be done in 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes with the permits in the city and that kind of stuff, it gets delayed, right? So.
Yeah, I'd rather be on the safe side rather than go aggressive. The cost of money for private lenders has gone up. There is a chance that they come back and ask for a higher interest rate.
Okay.
Although it's a renewal, we're seeing more of that these days. But again, we'll see what we can do with respect to negotiations for you guys.
Okay, well, let me know. I mean, obviously, we'll do the 6 months like you recommended, and should be done by then.
Yeah. So this is obviously a big renovations project. And if you're buying a property to renovate, typically you have two options. One option is with the banks under a program called Purchase Plus Improvements. That program, however, is designed for much smaller renovations, smaller improvements, and it does cap how much you can get out on exit once you finish the renovations. That's what it is. So if you put $100,000 into a property and the value goes up, to 700 from 500, a Purchase Plus Improvements will not allow you to tap into that maximum value. So that would be a program to consider if you're just looking for a small renovation. Something like this is more of a construction loan, and basically it's more expensive. It's not a bank loan. You're looking more at private money type of loan, and it's on this one, for example, the cost of money is in the 9% range with about 2% in fees. And the way it works is you get about 75 to 80% of the total construction budget and about 80% loan to value to purchase the property.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, it's actually come along really nice in here. One thing you guys have to be aware of when you're doing a legal second dwelling unit or any sort of legal dwelling unit in a multifamily property is fire separation, okay? And one of the big things that I see contractors miss, especially a newer contractor starting out, is not getting that fire separation in during the framing stage. And so you'll see up above the top plates here, we have a layer of 5/8 Type X drywall that has already been installed above the top plate. And what that does, it allows us to have a continuous fire separation. So later on, once we're ready to install the rest of the drywall here, we can install the 5/8 drywall on the ceiling here, butt it up against those drywall that was installed above the top plate already. And now we've got our continuous fire separation. So very crucial step in the framing process. And it can be a very costly mistake if you forget to get that drywall above the top plate. Another thing you'll notice is the orange fire caulking. So again, when that 5/8 drywall is abutting against the foundation wall, we have to fire caulk it. And what that does, it prevents smoke and fire from actually going through the crevice or the crack and then spreading up into the wall cavity. So crucial step, 5/8 above the top plate and fire caulk it to the foundation wall.
Hi Dalia, so question for you. What can an investor do if the bank tells them no, that they can no longer qualify for a deal that they've brought to the table?
Great question. Basically, here's what I tell investors. Don't get discouraged when the bank says no, because as much as they're old banks, they look at things differently. So when your deal gets declined, get a second opinion. Okay. Get actually a second opinion through a broker who specializes in income properties rather than knocking on every lender's door and hoping they're going to approve your deal, because you don't know how lenders think, but brokers know how lenders think. So that's how you would shop the deal. Many deals, investors come to us saying that their deal got declined or they're not getting the mortgage that they hope they get, and it's all a numbers game, and it's about figuring out how we navigate the lender's network to get them that deal that they want. So don't get discouraged, just get a second opinion, but get it through a mortgage broker rather than shopping the lenders.
Awesome.
So initial thoughts when I walked into the first property that we were in. Every time I go into a site, I'm always thinking, how many problems am I going to see, and how many guys am I going to have to send back to redo things.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So, what do we got here, man?
We got insulation, ready for drywall. Inspection tomorrow. We're good to go.
In construction, renovations, there's always a level of things that have to get fixed. There's million parts moving. Things are going so fast. There's so many people involved, so many different areas that it's pretty common.
Apparently there's a leak over there. I don't know. I gotta go upstairs and see.
So they'll go back and they'll fix it, but everything else that I noticed in that house was actually bang on. What we have here is this is the stage before we drywall. And because this is a legal duplex, it's a conversion, we have to insulate the ceiling with quiet zone, so it's about 6 inches of bats as part of the fire separation. Same with the walls here, so we have to do the quiet zone. For fire separation here, we have the resilient channel, and then we'll throw a layer of 5/8.
And a double on the other side.
Another 2 layers of 5/8 on the other side. Just got to separate the common area from the unit as well. So this will be 1 unit plus the basement. We can have a look at the basement if you guys want.
It's kind of tight down there right now. We'll fall down the stairs.
Did we just build the staircase? It looks brand new.
No. Keeps that rustic feel.
So this was actually perfect height. Basement height was huge, but it's all new framing, foam spray. We like to do it proper. All new mechanicals, electrical. We're using heat pumps down here, all new plumbing, including the undergrounds. And we got the drywall guys here, if you guys want to say hi. Hello. It's the best drywalling company around. How's it going? So we got to do inspection. We'll have the inspector here tomorrow, I think.
Tomorrow morning, yeah.
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll get the inspection done.
So you guys will have it drywalled by Monday, right?
Yeah, these guys are just loading up the house so we can stay on time. Once the inspector sees, really he's coming to check just the insulation and the fire separation. Once he does that, he'll give us the thumbs up. I don't see any issues here, everything looks proper. Then these guys can start boarding the walls. They're usually, I don't know, to board this house, what? Maybe 3 to 5 days tops?
3 to 4 days.
Yeah, and
taping will take another.
About 6 months for taping?
No. Taping will take like 2 weeks,
Like
2.5 weeks. Tops.
It's a big house.
Yeah.
So 2.5 weeks, we're gonna come back in 2.5 weeks and see if they're full of shit. Let's go see
Documented
upstairs. All right, so one thing to point out, this actually is going to be closed off completely. We keep it open so we can do kind of the work, in this unit. But once we complete, this will have to be closed off, fire separated, and this is your point of egress for the second floor unit, and the back of the house is the point of egress for the main floor / basement. So we can go upstairs and have a look. All right. Lou, you want to talk about this one?
This is basically the 1 unit down here. They can't do the upstairs as a unit. That's just going to be storage space.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
But it's a fairly good size. It's a 2-bedroom unit, and it's going to have a massive kitchen with a wraparound peninsula on it, which is going to be huge.
Pretty much nobody can afford a house these days, so rental markets have gone up. So probably in this area, maybe $2,200, $2,400 a month, roughly. This is we're a big fan of using, this is called spray foam. Bigger fan of using spray foam. It completely seals your exterior walls. Our value is our value, but we find this is way more efficient and you get a better barrier. What's in the ceilings is just, it's a quiet zone and it separates the units for a couple things. So for sound as well as for fire. So typically this doesn't have to be here because upstairs is not a unit. However, it just creates a nicer, denser envelope. So we like to put it in there.
We were looking at the lintel from the outside where the guys that installed it did it incorrectly. And I haven't had a chance to come by the project yet this week, so we're gonna have to fix it. That's what I was noticing earlier. I'm not happy about it, but whatever. It
happens, they'll come back, they'll fix it. But all these are enlarged cutouts for new windows, larger windows.
So it's gonna be a massive, massive window here. This is the actual size from there to there.
And
right?
For structural, they have to put a lintel to support the brick above. They put it backwards.
It's doing its job, but it's more aesthetically, it doesn't look good. So it was kind of it looks like a little bit of a rush job. So
it's construction, it happens. We'll get it fixed.
Yeah.
So here we have kitchen.
This is gonna be huge.
Yeah, it's
a massive, massive kitchen. So you have stove, countertop, another countertop here. We have to stop here because the heat system's gonna go right here, mini split. And then we have the fridge here in the corner. Countertop, sink, dishwasher, wraps around to a peninsula that faces this way into the living area. So it's a really big kitchen for a rental unit.
This client opted to work with heat pumps, so not a forced air system. So that's what all this tubing is for. So heat pumps are, they're kind of heads, units that go on the wall. They're your heating system and your AC system combined, and usually we put a compressor. Either we hang it off the exterior of the wall or we put them on the roof, depending on the application.
On this one, it'll go on.
This one will go on the wall. For rental units anyways, I don't necessarily think more bedrooms is going to equal more rents. I think nicer living spaces. So, if you're going to have let's say, a small 3-bedroom with no living space, I would opt to have like a larger 2-bedroom. Also, with the change with most people working from home these days, it's nice to have a 1-bedroom and an office and a larger living area.
Yeah, I think the finishes too make a big difference for you to get a better tenant and rent it out quicker.
And we started our finishes earlier here. You guys can see the wallpapering we've already started.
How do you like it?
There.
We just brought that in. That's a new thing we're trying.
Right, we hired our interior decorator for that. That's Looch, we call him, the Looch.
She's all ready to go too.
No. So because of the way the hip, you have to duck. The city won't allow us to finish this unless we would either build a dormer or change the roof line, roof pitch. So we're going to opt to not finish this. It's just going to be open storage space. If the owners want to lay down some carpet or do something after the fact, they're free to do so. But this is not allowed to be finished space as per building code. To be honest with you, when going through that house, I only noticed one thing, and that was on a steel lintel that we installed outside. The guys put it backwards. So that's the first time they've done that. We're doing an inspection tomorrow to pass it with the city. I'm sure I didn't see anything. They might find something. But from what I saw, I think we'll be drywalling either tomorrow afternoon or Monday morning.